Look at people from different parts of the world, and one thing becomes obvious immediately. Human skin comes in many shades: deep brown, golden, olive, pale beige, pinkish white. For a long time, people tried to explain those differences in ugly and dangerous ways. They turned skin color into a symbol of identity, superiority, separation, and race. But biology tells a much simpler story. Skin color is not proof that humans are divided into different types. It is proof that humans adapted. It is a record of where our ancestors lived, how much sunlight touched their bodies, what they ate, and how their bodies solved one very old problem. That problem came from the sun. Sunlight helped humans survive, but it could also harm them. Too much ultraviolet radiation can damage skin cells and break down important nutrients. Too little sunlight can make it harder for the body to produce vitamin D. So human skin had to find a balance. Protect the body from the sun, but still allow enough sunlight in. That balance is the reason humans evolved different skin colors. To understand it, we have to go back to Africa, where our species began. Early humans lived under strong sunlight. Unlike many mammals, they did not keep thick fur covering most of their bodies. Over time, our ancestors lost much of that fur, likely because bare skin made sweating more effective, and sweating was a huge advantage. A human body that can sweat well can keep moving in hot environments. It can walk long distances, run, track animals, and survive in open landscapes where other animals overheat. Losing fur helped early humans cool down, but it also exposed their skin directly to intense sunlight. That created a new danger. Near the equator, ultraviolet radiation is strong. UV light can burn the skin, damage DNA, and affect important molecules inside the body. One of those molecules is folate, a B vitamin that helps with cell growth, DNA repair, sperm production, and healthy pregnancy. If too much UV radiation destroys folate, reproduction becomes harder. And in evolution, reproduction is not some side quest. It is the whole game. A body can be fast, clever, strong, and perfectly built for survival, but if it cannot successfully produce the next generation, evolution does not keep that design around for long. So early humans needed protection. That protection came from melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives skin its color, but it is not just decoration. It works like a natural shield. It absorbs and scatters ultraviolet radiation, reducing the damage UV can cause inside the skin. More melanin means darker skin, and in places with strong sunlight, darker skin gives better protection. That is why populations whose ancestors lived for many generations near the equator usually developed darker skin, not because they were a different kind of human, not because of some social category invented much later. Their bodies were simply adapting to stronger UV radiation. Dark skin was survival technology. It protected folate. It protected DNA. It helped humans live and reproduce under a brutal sun. But humans did not stay in one place. Over tens of thousands of years, groups of Homo sapiens moved out of Africa. They crossed deserts, followed coastlines, entered forests, climbed mountains, and eventually reached colder and cloudier regions far from the equator. And in those places, the problem changed. For people living in areas with weaker sunlight, especially far north or in cloudy climates, the danger was no longer only too much UV. The danger became too little UVB. UVB is the part of sunlight the skin uses to make vitamin D. And vitamin D matters a lot. The body needs it to absorb calcium, build strong bones, support the immune system, and keep many basic functions working properly. Without enough vitamin D, children can develop rickets, a disease that makes bones soft and weak. Adults can also suffer from weaker bones and other health problems. Pregnancy and childhood survival can become more difficult. So in low sunlight environments, too much melanin could become a disadvantage. Darker skin blocks more UVB, which is useful under strong tropical sun, but less useful where UVB is already limited. In those environments, natural selection often favored lighter skin. Less melanin allowed more UVB to enter the skin. More UVB helped the body make more vitamin D. More vitamin D meant stronger bones and better chances of survival. This is the part people often misunderstand. Light skin did not evolve because cold weather magically made people pale. Cold does not bleach skin. Sunlight is the key factor. Human skin color follows UV radiation better than temperature. But the story is not perfectly simple. Human history is messy. Migration is messy. Diet is messy. Populations mix, move, adapt, and change over time. Some people who lived far north did not become extremely pale because their traditional diets were rich in vitamin D. For example, fish and marine mammals can provide vitamin D through food. If your diet gives you enough vitamin D, your skin does not need to let in as much sunlight. That is why there is no perfect global skin color chart. There are patterns but not clean boxes, and that is where the idea of race starts to collapse. Skin color changes gradually across geography. It does not split humanity into neat biological categories. There is no magical border where one type of human ends and another begins. There are only populations shaped by sunlight, diet, migration, and time. Human variation is real. The boxes people built around that variation are mostly cultural. Societies saw skin color because it was visible. Then they gave it meaning. Then they gave it rankings. Then they used those rankings to justify cruelty, conquest, slavery, and violence. But evolution did not create those ideas. Evolution was not trying to build social classes, it was solving a chemical problem. How much sunlight should the body block? How much sunlight should the body allow in? Too much UV can damage folate and DNA. Too little UVB can limit vitamin D. Melanin is the body's adjustment system. Turn it up where the sun is intense. Turn it down where sunlight is weak. That does not make one skin color better than another. It means different environments created different pressures. Every shade is an adaptation. Dark skin is not primitive. Light skin is not advanced. Brown skin is not incomplete. Each one is evidence that humans survived in different places under different skies. And here is another interesting part. Lighter skin did not evolve in exactly the same way everywhere. In Europe and parts of East Asia, lighter skin appeared through different genetic changes. Evolution reached similar outcomes using different biological routes. So there was no single moment when humans became white. There was no single moment when humans became black. Those are modern labels placed on a much older process. The earliest Homo sapiens were almost certainly darker skinned than many people alive today, because our species evolved in Africa under strong UV radiation. But even that should be understood carefully. They were not black in the modern social sense. They were ancient humans with skin suited to their environment. The biology came first. The labels came much later. Today, the old rules have been broken. People now move around the planet in hours. Someone whose ancestors adapted to weak northern sunlight can live under intense equatorial sun. Someone whose ancestors adapted to strong tropical sunlight can live in a cloudy northern city. Our skin still carries information from the environments of our ancestors, but our modern lives may happen under completely different skies. That is why skin color is both personal and historical. It is part of identity, family, and heritage. But it is also evidence of movement. It tells a story about ancient migrations, changing climates, survival, and adaptation. Your skin is not just the color of your body, it is a memory of sunlight. It carries traces of places your ancestors crossed, landscapes they survived, and environments that shaped them long before anyone had names for nations, borders, or races. So why did humans become different colors? Because we left one environment and entered many others. Because the sun gave life, but also created danger. Because the human body had to solve two opposite problems at the same time: block sunlight and use sunlight. Skin color is not a ranking. It is not a border. It is not proof that humans are separate. It is proof that humans are one flexible species, able to adapt to almost every part of the planet. Every shade is a survival story. Every color is a map. And every person alive today carries a small piece of ancient sunlight written into their skin. If you like learning about human history without boring lectures, subscribe. There's much more ahead.